Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotal. It's election night. I'm your host, Jay Fry, and with me, as per usual, is Sean. How is it going, Sean?
Oh, you know, just the end of the world tomorrow. That's all.
Oh, yeah, of course. Josh, of course, couldn't be bothered to be with us, and who the fuck knows where Garrick is. But I got a special guest tonight, my original co-host of whatever the fuck. What was the name of our? What?
Oh my gosh, I
Thought?
can't remember.
Thews?
No, I'll look it up.
Something news tonight? Well, anyway, Brash, how's it going, Brash?
How's it going, guys? Long time no
Long
talk.
time.
Glad to be here.
Long time no talk. It's glad to have you. Good to have you on, man.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it a lot.
Was news analysis of the week us or Brash and I? That was us, wasn't it, Sean?
Might have been. I know you guys did.
The week.
You guys did radiation therapy.
That's
right. Radiation. I knew that's what I did when I was doing it. That's what it was called.
Man, that was a long time ago. I miss those days. Those were fun days.
Yeah, they were. And then you died. And
yeah, I sure felt like I did.
McCopter didn't apologize. He got sent to Micronesia, and it just fell apart from there.
Oh yeah, he went to Micronesia, huh?
Well, no, it was a different country. I'm just not going to dox him.
Oh, gotcha.
In case there's still a bounty on him in fucking Sri Lanka for some reason. So we got a couple stories tonight. First one I want to talk about because I don't know how to feel about him, but I'm leaning towards fuck Tommy Robinson. Fuck Tommy Robinson. He got arrested again this weekend, and I mean, the guy says, "Hey everybody, I'm going to be here at this time, and I hope you all join us for this thing." He gets arrested because he's smooth. Well, this weekend there was she's a current Muslim speaker. They've got this thing called Speaker's Corner in London where they are allowed to have free speech because fuck you, England. That's why.
Yeah.
So it's this one spot that you go to and host free debates. Anybody can step up on basically a soapbox because, again, England. And you have to probably step up from the wrong side anyway. And you can say literally whatever you want. And it's a big spot for Muslim hate preaching because, again, it's a free spot. And this woman came out and denounced the violence and radicalism that is Islam in today's culture. And of course, this was, I think, last weekend. A Muslim who disagreed with her slapped the shit out of her. So they called for police, and the police showed up and took the guy away or whatever. And Tommy said she's doing the right thing because Tommy's big anti-Muslimic, whatever how you want to call it.
Yeah.
So he said, "Hey, boys and girls, I'm going to be here Saturday, Sunday, whatever day they are on in England time." And he was going to attend it. And of course, when he got there, the police in like stormtrooper level numbers versus the Rebel Alliance just fucking carted him off, claiming COVID violations because he just got out of jail a couple of
Christ.
Yeah, he ended up getting arrested for something else. The charge was for something else, but they came in from all sides to pick this motherfucker up, and I'm like, dude, quit announcing you're going to be places before you be them.
Yeah, no
just
kidding.
record them and put them out in, whatever video platform you're currently allowed on. See, that's where I defend Tommy Robinson, because it is bullshit that they're silencing him. But at the same time, I'm almost positive you're a Fed or whatever the English version of Feds are.
You think he's a Fed, huh?
Whatever the English version of Fed is.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's the case.
I'm not inclined to believe that.
I am a reluctant Tommy defender because he is exactly the poster child of what is wrong with this current unequal protection of human rights that we have going on.
A defender, absolutely. I will defend what Tommy is saying and what he's doing. Not a fan, though.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't think I'd want to associate with the guy, but I will defend him. He needs to be able to say what he wants to say. Otherwise, we don't have a truly Western free society. And it's becoming very obvious that that applies very well to the nanny state that is England, not to mention even here lately.
You know, let me tell you what absolutely shocks me about the Tommy Robinson story you just relayed.
Nothing.
It's that England actually has somewhere where you can have free speech. That's the most shocking thing to me.
I mean, I don't know what this the speaker's corner is, but I assume it's literally like in like London's version of what's the park in Central Park in New York City?
It's basically the same thing. It's in Hyde Park.
And it's like the
London.
very corner of it, away from the most people.
No, it's right as you come in, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like anybody visiting the park can hear it?
No, because that park is huge, but it's big enough that you're going to get everybody that's... I think there's 2 entrances within basically shouting distance, so you're going to get everybody that's coming in those 2 entrances.
How about
that? I'm looking at it right now. It looks like it's sort of a... Speaker's Corner is actually a park where you can have free speech. I wonder if you can tweet or post from Facebook from Speaker's Corner and not get arrested by the thought police. Probably not.
No, because that's I'm pretty sure you won't even be able to air or stream it because you're violating. Just go into Speaker's Corner and tweet out some rap lyrics for a dead homie.
Speaking of our friends across the pond, Boris Johnson is turning out to be a complete dud.
Yep.
Yeah. I knew that since he got COVID. Like, only losers get COVID. Come on, guy.
Well, only losers get COVID and don't come out on the other side more spry than a 25-year-old.
I was just throwing it because I had COVID last month.
You did?
Yeah. Oh, totally. It didn't affect me. I had a chill.
So wait, whoa, hold on. I'm sorry. Are we speaking to your ghost? Because I've been told that this is the plague of days, of the end of days. So you must be dead, right?
No. I'm a very spry 40, which means I only had a 99.95% chance of surviving. But originally, when I got diagnosed,
honestly forgot you even had it.
Yeah. When I got diagnosed, I thought I was clear, and that I had the antibodies in my system. And I almost went to a certain friend of the show's wedding. Speaking of weddings, we have had 2 weddings in the past month of friends of the shows. We had on the 17th, we had Matt and Lily got married. So congratulations,
nice.
Matt and Lily Christensen. And on the 31st of October, we've got David and Victoria Howard got married. Well, they're now David and Victoria Howard. But congratulations, Howie and Bunny and Matt and Lily. So almost went because I thought I had antibodies. Turns out I had antigen, which is them. Like the fucking little COVID bastards. I was a super spreader.
Really?
I almost took off to frickin' Montana because I'm an idiot who didn't understand the story. So finally, on my 3rd doctor's appointment, because they kept testing me, I was like, so now I can go back to work? They're like, what? This is your first clear day of not having COVID. I'm like, what? Like, you've been a spreader for the last week. Like, you need to be more clear. I didn't know that's the case. I thought I was already had it in December.
Busted me.
They're like, first off, retard, anybody's only good for 4 months. So Christmas was 10 months ago. I'm like, oh, apparently I'm a retard. So yeah, there's fuck you, Mike. Fuck you hard and slow. And that hurts. In my fat, congested heart, that hurts. But yeah, so that was the joke behind that is losers get COVID. I had COVID. But the speaking of across the pond people, there was a Trump rally hosted in Nigeria. Did you guys see that?
No, it sounds awesome, though.
There's just a bunch of fucking motherfuckers with they were Trump. They weren't flags. They were yard signs, but they had like 8 yard signs, and they are sporadically passing them around while marching through the streets of somewhere in Nigeria. And I was like, I wonder how Obama's Kenyan hometown's doing right now. You think there's
well,
there's any
we know where his brother stands.
Yeah. Yeah. In America, though. But I was like, how popular do you have to be to have out-of-country rallies? Like, no one was running around doing marches for Netanyahu or who's the African president that we always talk about?
Mugabe?
No, fuck Mugabe. No, the
Mandela?
Mandela. There we go. No one's running around marching for Mandela in America.
Do we not have people marching for Xi Jinping?
Oh yeah, but there was
probably do.
That's only at that's only at Biden rallies.
Oh, you mean all 25 of them? There's a few of those guys there. Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
you didn't see over the weekend there was a Biden parade kind of thing. It had 8 cars in it.
Yeah, dude, that's just insane.
Somebody counted it. Meanwhile, in frickin' Arizona, they had a 97-mile long parking lot.
Yep. Oh, 50,000. Which rally was it? Was it Michigan? Or no, it was Pennsylvania. 57,000 people.
Yeah, in a small town. In a small town in Pennsylvania.
I mean, that's fucking crazy.
Did you see Trump had a fracking platform shipped in?
Yep.
I saw that. That was awesome.
It was in the background. I was like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome, man. I mean, and then
sure the union didn't just bring that with them?
We're here.
And then, of course, you had, well, the mainstream media told me that a bunch of white supremacist Nazis were trying to ram poor, innocent Biden supporters off the road in their cars. Oh, wait, the police report came out, and it was the Biden supporter that smashed into the Trump truck.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, that was kind of on video. We saw that.
Yeah. I mean, you missed the important part because the guy panned over, but what was there, you could definitely tell what happened. I mean, but according
the SUV was in the truck's lane.
Yeah, but according to the mainstream media, it was the most horrific attack that's ever been perpetrated on anyone.
Mm-hmm. Never mind the fact that surrounded the bus meant no one got in front of it. Somehow they were slowing the bus down from the sides.
Yeah, exactly.
Like everybody knew if you want your flag to be seen, you have to be on the side of the bus where the passengers are because no one gives a fuck about the driver.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I mean that's a little bit bad optics, but at this point, fuck them.
I can't believe. Well, no, I can believe, but I think it's humorous that the 911 calls came from inside the bus.
The 911 calls are coming from inside the bus.
Oh, brother, what a bunch of horse shit.
Well, San Francisco had they called the police on a Trump an impromptu Trump rally. That was cars with flags, saying it was terroristic in nature.
Jesus, dude.
97 miles of Arizona had just people hanging out.
Yep.
Dude, everywhere I went this weekend, I ran into Trump parades with cars and multiple cars flying Trump flags. Everywhere I went.
We there's something funny about like there was one in Beverly Hills, and it's like, what do we want? And it's like 4 more years. I'm like, every motherfucker there has an accent. This is crazy. Where's the media sending it? Like, I mean, it's like in little Cuba, there's like not a single Biden supporter at all.
Nope. Yeah, it's really pathetic. You know, the media has done such a number on the sort of the low information leftist voter that they actually believe this shit.
I had somebody tell me in the same conversation that The Handmaid's Tale is Amy Coney Barrett, and that it's unbelievable that I don't do my research.
Yep. And
like,
what? Oh, good.
Like, oh my god, fuck you. Like, I went to school with this guy because my Facebook is only people I went to school with, and like 2 people that I dated since high school. But it's only people I actually know on my Facebook, as opposed to my Twitter, which is a bunch of jackasses I don't know. But they're like, "Well, the fuck am I going to listen to you? You failed art class." I'm like, "It was fucking art class."
Art class.
Like, fuck you.
Well, yeah, it's the Amy Coney Barrett thing is hilarious because for literal decades, the feminist movement has been teaching women they can have it all: career, family, and they can balance everything and still be a great mom and have a wonderful career. Well, here comes a lady that's done just that, and they're like, "You're obviously the Handmaid's Tale." Okay, all right.
Well, that what used to be it. You can have it all. You can have your kids in your career, but recently it's turned to kids or a career. If you want to play in the big boys league, you have to kill your fetus.
Oh yeah.
You know, Michelle Williams had an Oscar or an Emmy or whatever the fuck they vote on themselves and they pay for.
Yeah.
And she made the speech like, if I had this child, and I'm like, huh. Yeah, because you wouldn't have been able to afford childcare. Being a millionaire who watched Heath Ledger overdose on your carpet, I understand that.
Yeah, no shit. And wasn't it? Oh god damn it! Who was the recent one? Oh, it was
Stevie Nicks.
I can't remember. Some band. And she was like, "Oh, if I had an abortion, the world wouldn't have been blessed with our music."
It was
like,
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks. Like, you stupid bitch.
She lives out here in Paradise Valley.
Oh, brother.
She's loony.
Are you in California, man?
No, I'm in Arizona.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you're not in California. What a shithole.
Yeah, that is a shithole. Nice place to visit.
Only the bottom half.
Well, no, it's the government that's the shithole.
It's the people. The people are the problem in California. California is a beautiful place with a lot to offer. But the people there absolutely fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they do. It's like the most beautiful climate that exists in all of the United States, and you can't move there because it is just an absolute shithole. Mm-hmm. I mean, forget shithole countries. We got shithole regions of California.
Yeah, the wealth disparity is really on display in California, no matter where you go.
No, you're absolutely wrong, because it's made up of Democrats, and Democrats are very concerned about wealth disparity. So you must be mistaken.
Yeah, apparently
people that are so concerned about wealth disparity couldn't possibly be contributing to it. So you must be mistaken.
Speaking of, over the weekend, somehow, Kamala? Because Kamala is clearly wrong, and President Trump's a racist. So however you're supposed to pronounce it.
Super racist.
Bitch ass hoe.
Pissed me off.
Let's just go with bitch ass hoe.
Camel Toe Harris. Anderson Pooper and Sheila Jackson Lee dissed Trump and his racist pronunciation of her name, and then proceeded the entire time to call her Miss Harris because they didn't want to get it wrong themselves.
Yeah, but then right after they did that, Joe was on stage somewhere and said it wrong himself.
Yeah. But
it's only racist when Trump does it, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So Camel Toe Harris had she put out a video completely describing the platform that her and Joe support, which is if both people, you're here and it's somebody low and of color, and of course a white person who's much higher off on the plane, are given 100-foot rope, that's not equality, because that 100 feet only gets them 100 feet. And if the white person is 95 feet from the top, that 100-foot rope gets them to the top. But if brown person is 175 feet from the top, that 100-foot rope doesn't get them to the top. So her whole platform in this video was about equality of outcome instead of equality at the beginning. And it was absolutely equal opportunity, not equal outcome.
It skips over the fact that the right thing to do in that scenario would be to tie the two ropes together and both of them go up. But that would require self-interest and action from the guy in the middle. And they're taking away his opportunity to do that by insisting that it must be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently all you need is 6 feet of rope. Mike says you don't need 100 foot of rope to make a noose. Yeah, all you need is 2 yards of clothesline, and Bubba Wallace will call it out just like that. But yeah, you need to be able to start off on the same playing field. But the equality at the ends is not. I am this is the job I want. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm not making what a doctor makes. I'm not making what an electrician makes. But I am making what I choose to make, having the career that I want. I shouldn't be able to have the same wealth as somebody who went to school for the same 4 years I did, and then an additional 6 years. 2 in school.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was 2 in school.
Nope. You go.
Now, when you say you go, do you mean I go, or do you mean you're going to go? Because I thought I was going to go the first time.
I remember you goes. Do you guys remember you goes?
I do. It's like a faint explosion in the back of my head. I don't remember what. But to start off on the same foot is where you want to be, because it gives you the freedom to pick your path. If it's equality at the end and not the beginning, then you don't get to pick your path. You don't even pick your starting point. That's all picked for you. So you want to make as much as a doctor, you have to become the doctor. The only way everyone can start at the same place and end at the same place is if the starting point is destroyed. Bringing everybody to the lowest common denominator is the only way to get us to end at the same point. And that is destructive and un-American.
It's failed literally everywhere it's been tried to be implemented, without exception.
Socialism's hiding like stuff. Sweden's upset with Bernie Sanders for comparing it to it.
And then they create this fallacy of looking at it maybe 1 or 2 dimensionally, and it's really just a 3-dimensional idea of people can start in any place and end up in any place based on choices they make and work they put into it, whatever it is their endeavor is. And that's what kind of moves you around. So this idea of starting in the same place is just not feasible, and ending in the same place is unrealistic.
Well, it also takes away the idea that you can choose your end place. Maybe somebody doesn't want to get to the summit. Maybe somebody's cool with hanging out on the side somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. It removes autonomy.
It's a stranglehold on freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in order for everyone, like I think Kamala Harris said today somewhere that we all need to end in the same place. And I'm just going, this dumb bitch has no idea what she's talking about. Or maybe she does, and that's why she's saying it. But it removes all freedom if you force everyone to end up in the same place. I mean, because like you were saying, there's some people, like, did you guys watch Don't Walk, Run Productions videos? Did you guys ever watch those?
Can't say that I have, but I can't say that I haven't either.
Okay,
yeah.
They're fantastic. I'll send a link to you guys, but he did a video on a woman who she had done something for some sort of Democrat cause or something, like how she's worked for Disney World, for Disneyland for 30 years, and she's only she's still in the same position. And she's like, yeah, I've been working here so long, but they capped the pay. You can only earn so much in this position. It's just not fair. I can't make enough to live. I'm poor, et cetera, et cetera. And it goes on in the story to say that she turned down management positions because she liked her job. It's like, well, lady, you like your job. That comes with a certain pay. You could have moved up, but she chose not to, but she's still complaining about it. So you don't get to do both, lady. You don't get to complain about pay and want to stay in the same easy job you've had for 30 years. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, like that 10 cents a year at McDonald's. And
yeah,
after 3 decades, you're making $17 an hour.
Yeah. It's like minimum wage was never meant to be something to stay on forever. It was meant to be a stepping stone for children, for teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Not for adults to live and try to raise a family on. You can't raise a family on minimum wage. You just can't do it.
It's my same argument for the auto worker industry. Unskilled labor is something you go into out of college to get the prerequisite for. And personally, if everything you have requires a college degree, that should be a high school degree. Toughen high schoolers to learn that, because there's no reason that you need to have.
Anymore. They're too busy teaching diversity bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no reason that
they don't even teach civics anymore.
Yeah,
people don't even know how the process works.
My class back in I took it in 97. It ended at the end of 98. The same school year, 97, 98. Tort law. They stopped teaching tort law that year.
What?
And they opened it up to computers. And I took my senior year, I took a class in Introduction to Computers, where all we did was like learn the here's how you create an email. It's like, oh my God.
How valuable.
Yeah.
Well, it's a necessity, honestly, in today's world. You need to know how to do those things.
Yeah.
But you should know how to do those things well before your senior year of high school.
Not my senior year. My senior year was 98.
Yeah, but
literally...
well, email wasn't a thing when I was taking computer classes in middle school and high school. It was, how to take your Apple IIe and, program in BASIC, how to make a graphic and, program some basically MUDs, as it was.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fun. But
yeah. Knowing how to make how to send emails today is the equivalent of knowing how to write a check 40 years ago. I mean, it was an essential thing everybody needed to know. It was like, also like writing a, paper letter. I'd be surprised if anybody still knows how to fill out the address and everything on the not the letter. What is it? The envelope.
Yeah, I can do that.
I had to write a live check the other day, and I had to. How do I do this again? Oh yeah, I'd been doing it for years, but it's I hadn't done it in probably 2 years, so it was weird to have to write a live check. It makes me want to go to a grocery store and use a check just to see what the reaction is.
You'll probably get somebody pissed off behind you.
Oh yeah.
Well, they'll turn you away. They'll say, "Sorry, we don't accept checks."
Ooh.
Depends on the grocery store, but now they do them like it's like their credit cards. They'll run it through their machine, and it's like you're approved. But some places won't do it. Like you can't do it in the self checkout. But
that's true.
Yeah, the days of floating checks are over.
Yeah, we've had what we have had recently. We had 50,000 people show up in Pennsylvania. Trump did a rally today in Michigan at 6 p.m. One in Kenosha, Wisconsin at 8 p.m. And in half an hour, he'll be back in Michigan for a 10 p.m. rally.
Yeah, man. The guy's a machine. Like
Biden today took a nap.
Yep. His schedule would kill most of us.
Yeah.
The guy has got so much energy, it's insane.
Do you remember the Democrat? You probably don't. You're probably all too young. But there used to be a Democratic talking point back when Reagan was president that he used to call an end to his day at like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and he just didn't. He stopped working at that time, so you didn't bug him unless the nukes were on the way. And they used to give him shit for that. and
now Joe can't even.
Joe can't even make a full day.
Yeah, man. Jeez. Did you see that video of Barack having to call him out 3 times?
No.
He introduces Joe, and he's like, "Now here's your next president, Joe Biden." Okay, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. And then Joe comes jogging out, and he's barely making it up the stairs, and then he finishes with his speech. He forgets his mask. Barack has to tell him to go get his mask on. He goes back to the podium. He puts his mask on. He comes back, and it's like the guy can barely. What was that thing he said the other day? Complete gibberish.
It's supposed to be international pressure.
Yeah, true international
pressure.
I was like,
and then
what?
He screwed up adequate health care as well.
Yeah, the guy can't even.
Ugh, man.
I mean, dude, they must have put so much Ritalin into his system before the debates.
It's Adderall now, Grandpa. Jesus.
Whatever. Adderall. Put so much Adderall in his system just to get him through those things. It's just ridiculous.
And they had his Google Watch on too for that final debate.
Yeah, and he kept looking at it too, which was a little suspicious, but
Yeah, he was getting talking points on it.
I'm sure the mainstream media is deep into undercover investigation to reveal what Joe was actually doing, because you know how much they report on Joe.
Mike asked if the Mad Lad went to Kenosha. I said yeah, and he said as a TYT he called him out for dog whistling. Yeah, it always amazes me how the left can hear a racist dog whistle better than anyone else. Like, I'm not hearing a dog whistle, yet you are hearing a dog whistle. Maybe you're the racist.
They're constantly hearing the dog whistle. It's like you have to be thinking racist thoughts to be able to hear the dog whistle, I think.
Well, that's a major part of white fragility. It states, as a white person, I am racist. That's the first thing it says in white fragility. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, you are. like
that's
I don't.
Not a white person thing.
It's a you thing. Yeah, you're a racist. I'm not a racist. Like, they're like, oh, he's touting out his black friend. I'm like, yeah, because I got a fucking black friend. Do you have a black friend? No, just a colored TV.
Yeah, an actual black friend, an actual friend who is black, not a pet that you trot out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the ultimate example of a leftist racist in what's her name, Chelsea Handler.
Chelsea Handler, yeah.
I had to remind him he was black. Oh my God! Have you ever heard anything more racist? This one went off the rails. He started spouting things that weren't leftist psychosis. Obviously, he's got to be reminded he's black and can only think one way. Okay.
Well, I probably have to remind you because you don't give a shit about Chelsea Handler. She did date 50 Cent.
Yeah, I don't care, man.
That is his ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though. I mean,
does that make her an official mud shark?
Mm-hmm.
She's terrible.
But she was washed clean by Jason Biggs in the when he peed on her.
Jason Biggs peed on her?
Yeah, he was standing at the back of a boat, waited for her to pop up, and he just peed on her face, and she laughed about it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Did us all a favor.
Chelsea Handler, who you will remember, was calling everybody Nazis in 2015, and in 2016, it turns out that her Jewishness goes all the way back to her father, who decided to become Jewish because her grandfather was a Nazi officer.
Jesus. Maybe that's why she's such a psycho.
Yeah.
She's just like, make up for my grandpa being a Nazi.
She's a psycho because she was a moderately attractive young white woman and is no longer either of those things.
Yep, no children, no spouse.
Good Lord, when do we get this bad? Let's go back to calling everybody faggot and get out of here. Jesus.
She lost her looks. She lost her bargaining power. Honestly, she's not even funny.
Well, yeah, but she's also miserable because she's alone.
Speaking of Sarah Silverman, she's at the end of her rope too, and is currently doing naked advertisements. So, you got a year left before that cleavage starts to wrinkle.
I was gonna say she's still got a nice rack, so good for her.
Yeah,
but
you're at the end of that.
Not gonna last much longer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I remember when she got called out for not making as much as anybody else at the Comedy Barn, and the owner of the Comedy Barn was like, "You fucking begged me for your start."
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been paid what other people were paid because you're not fucking funny. And the only reason she's where she is this joke stealing and Jewish whatever nepotism, whatever their version.
Or she's whoring out for comedy club owners. Which is probably what's more realistic, is she's blowing them in the back to get on stage.
Yeah. Like Saturday Night Live used to go around and pick up the hottest, freshest talent. Like Eddie Murphy was scouted at 19 for Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
Because he was doing decent performances at large venues at 19. Now it's just a young Jew. Like young Jew chick is the newest introduction. It's like every year there's just a brand new Jew chick. And it's like, yeah, where'd you meet her? What synagogue? Because you sure didn't meet her on the circuit.
To be fair, Liz Lampanelli is actually funny.
Is that Lisa Lampanelli's sister?
Or yeah, Lisa Lampanelli. Sorry.
She also was like 28.
Right, but she's actually funny.
Okay, yeah, she is. And I thought she was Italian.
She might be.
Was she on Saturday Night Live?
No, but she can't clean up her act and still be funny, I don't think.
Okay.
Unlike Amy Schumer, who wasn't funny to begin with, and even when you clean her up, she's pathetic.
But you got like Whitney Cummings, who not particularly funny. Amy Schumer, her start was Last Comic Standing. She didn't win it, but her, Eliza Schlesinger, Nicole Glazer, who else was in that? Actually, the funniest of them all that year was Gabriel
Iglesias.
Is it Gabriel Iglesias?
I think he was on Last Comic Standing, wasn't
he? Yeah. Okay.
He might have had a career before that, though.
He did. He was fluffy before that. but he got fired for cheating. He got kicked out of the show for smuggling in a cell phone because his mom was sick. Was his claim? But he's one of the funniest people on the planet now.
Agreed.
Kean Thomas was he was founded elsewhere and went to Saturday Night Live, but it's a far cry. Kean Thompson is no Eddie Murphy.
He's good, but damn few are Eddie Murphy. Let's just put that out there.
Agreed. I got to meet him in 98 or 98. He was still doing Raw, even though it was year 3 of Raw, and he did it in Detroit, and I was the only white person in the first 3 rows, so I got attacked a little bit harder than I should have done.
What was that?
I don't know. Just dropped my call.
Okay.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah. He said there were 5 white people in the front row, and I was 3 of them. But the Saturday Night Live isn't remotely funny anymore.
I agree, but I will say that when Bill Burr was on, I caught like maybe 3 or 4 of those skits they did, and they were actually pretty good.
I like the fake commercial they did for Sam Adams.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
That's surprising because usually comedians are terrible.
Well, I mean, we were spoiled with Saturday Night Live. The original cast of Saturday Night Live was legitimately funny. And then in the 80s, they went through a spat where they were god-awful. Like the Brad Hall years were terrible.
Yeah.
Even though they had Eddie Murphy and they had a couple of moments, they were shit. And it wasn't until the late 80s when we got Dana Carvey, Mike Myers,
Chris Farley,
Dave Spade, Rob Schneider.
Yeah, we got spoiled by that because that was a stellar cast that just hit big. Then
Norm Macdonald and a night. What's the night news show?
I have no idea.
Yeah, some of the
best. Then, I mean, when they got to the Will Ferrell era, he had moments that were funny, but he wasn't like Chris Farley funny.
Mm-hmm.
And something changed. I don't know if the writing staff changed so much or the talent just wasn't there. There were still some good players, but I'll tell you what, in the last 15 years, it's been a dumpster fire for Saturday Night Live. They've just sucked on ice.
Well, I mean, I think the most cringy thing that Saturday Night Live has done in my lifetime was the first show after Trump was elected in 2016, where she came out, I think, as Hillary, and she's playing the piano and like, we'll get through this together. I was like, oh my God, just stop. You people are insane.
Oh, Kate McKinnon? And Hillary was the bartender?
Yeah, that was brutal, man. That was absolutely brutal.
I'll tell you what, going back and watching those after he won was a little bit funny.
To watch the salt, you mean?
Yeah. Phil Hartman, Mike, he recently was dead for 20 years.
He was, yes, unfortunately.
Now, when did Phil Hartman die?
It was about 20 years ago. It was like it was early 2000s, I believe, yeah.
Wife executed him.
I probably would have done the same thing. He did one of the funniest Reagan impressions, though. Just a doddering old fool until the door closed. And then he was like Dick Cheney incarnate.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
No, they used to do good political send-ups. And I think it was inspired by taking that grain of truth and that weird personal quirk any politician of the time had and turning it into something funny, playing it up or whatever. They did it with Reagan. They did it with Bush. They did it, Dana Carvey did a fantastic H.W. Bush.
That's what I was just going to say.
Jesus, May of 98.
Yeah, he's been gone a long time.
But when it's literally nothing but vitriol and hatred, it loses the edge. It loses the comedy. It loses everything. Like if it's just Alec Baldwin screaming insane shit because he's pissed off,
Well,
that's
I mean,
ridiculous.
Trump killed comedy because it's been almost nothing but solid. Ha ha ha! Orange man bad. Ha ha ha! What a Nazi! Ha ha! That's stupid.
You guys gotta look up his kids.
Garrick,
Dana Carvey's kids.
What?
Don't need
Phil
the Jeopardy
Hartman's
theme.
kids.
Oh, Phil Hartman's kids. Are they
His son
insane?
looks like Seth Green when he went bald, and his daughter looks like fucking Kate Upton. Good lord.
Really?
She is gorgeous. He is not.
I mean, Phil Hartman. His wife was hot. Even though
No, she was gorgeous too. Yeah,
insane.
Bryn
well,
Hartman.
they go together.
Sometimes, oftentimes.
Well, at least he went to sleep. Yeah, but she is beautiful, and Bergen, Birgen,
Yeah, she's very,
Bergen,
very pretty.
Anika Hartman, and then again, his son has apparently his mother's old nose.
Well, it's like looking at Scarlett Johansson's twin. She's gorgeous. He's not.
You know, what'd be really funny. John Lovitz with like a gorgeous daughter.
That would be weird.
I'm gonna look up John Lovett's kids.
I hear he's a colossal piece of shit.
Oh, he doesn't have any kids.
Gee, I wonder why.
Apparently, he's a colossal piece of shit.
Wait, he and she are fraternal twins?
Who?
What is it called?
Johansson? Scarlett
Yeah.
Johansson?
Yeah.
Yes, when one's a boy and one's a girl, it's always fraternal.
Okay.
That's a hint. Because one of them has a penis.
They can't be identical.
Is it a
Obviously.
female? Is it a female penis though?
They both have front holes.
Yeah. One dangles, one don't. Well, I don't know. I take that back. I don't know.
That sucks that John Lovitz is a dick. I loved him, and I love the entire cast of Mom and Dad Save the World.
Yeah, my a friend of mine he lives out in around New Orleans where they do a lot of Hollywood stuff out there, right? So he's been in a lot. He's been an extra and a featured extra in dozens of movies, and so he's given me the lowdown on a few celebrities, which is always interesting to hear who's a dick and who's not. Sylvester Stallone, what do you think, dick or awesome?
Oh, he's a huge dick.
Huge dick. Apparently,
Who is?
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, I can buy it.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the nicest guys he ever was on set with. He said he did a movie with Stallone and Schwarzenegger, and Stallone had his people would come out and say, "Don't look Mr. Stallone in the eye. Do not approach him. Do not speak to him under any circumstances, etc., etc., etc." And he would just stay in the green room until it was ready to come out. Then he'd come out, do a scene, and he'd take off, surrounded by his people. He said Schwarzenegger would come out every morning, say hello. He would remember people's names. How you doing? He'd sign autographs. Thanks for your hard work. I really appreciate you being here and helping me out on this movie. So kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, Schwarzenegger also came over as a legal immigrant, and then had to bust his ass roofing and shit. So he's had a real job. He knows what it means to hold down a real job. Sly Stallone.
Well,
not that he doesn't work hard, but he's always been an actor.
No, an actor maybe, but he was poor. He was big time poor. He did a porno just to pay the bills one month.
The Italian Stallion.
Yeah, the Italian Stallion. He did a porno. He was like all that stuff in Rocky where he's like washing his clothes in the shower. Like that was all stuff that he was doing before he made Rocky.
Well,
And to be fair, he wrote Rocky too.
He wrote
did,
Rocky.
yeah.
So I mean, it's like I don't want to take anything from Sly Stallone. He does have he works real hard at what he is. The problem is he's never had any other experience.
Well, I'm just saying he knows what it's like to be poor and to be a nobody, but he's still a dick. So that makes me not like him even more.
Yeah. Like you grew up with me. What the fuck, motherfucker?
Like, oh, okay, you're better than everyone now. Okay,
I'm sure that everybody he grew up with is also hitting him up for shit all the goddamn time.
Well, that's just being
I doubt they even know his number.
But
you talk about Stallone's a dick, Schwarzenegger's a nice person, but did he give every cast and crew member $1 million nice person? Okay, in that case, I'm still going with Keanu Reeves.
Well, he didn't give everyone $1 million, but he did spread it around.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves did Matrix with back end royalties instead of front end payment.
Yep.
And he ended up making like
crazy
half a bajillion dollars.
Yeah, all of the money.
Yeah, he made all of the money in 1999. So he gave each crew member. He's like, well, 1%. Okay, good, 1%. Turns out I made $100 million, so 1% is $1 million. Here you go.
That's pretty awesome.
And then they fucked him by making Matrix 2 and 3. 2 wasn't that bad, but 3, holy fuck yous.
Yeah, I saw 3 once in the theater. I barely remember a thing about it, but I remember it being absolute dog shit. Number 2 is actually pretty good. I like number 2.
Yeah. Number 3 reminds me of as a magician, my instructors and other people, famous magicians, would say, confusion isn't magic. Keep it simple. And that whole scene with the engineer, I'm like, what now? So chaos is intentional because it's inherent in the. Hey, go fuck yourself. Don't do it. Schwarzenegger got arrested coming to America.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and they stripped him of his bodybuilding magazines because it was like 74, 73, whatever. Yeah. But there was a lewdness to his female bodybuilders in their outfits that got all of his bodybuilding magazines confiscated for pornography.
Well, that's weird.
So yeah, yeah. Plus, he was a bodybuilder, so there's pretty good chances there's Arnie porn on the side as well.
Have you guys seen that movie he did, where it's his workout movie, and one of his quotes is, "I love to keep working out because every time I do, it's like I'm calming and calming and calming every time." It's like, okay, buddy, chill out.
Yeah, that's the movie where he goes around and fucks with Lou Ferrigno in that competition.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he did that several times. Like people don't understand how intelligent he was in his gaming.
Yeah, he was very psychological. Very psychological.
Aside from fucking with Ferrigno like he did, he arranged it so that, all right, so when you're out on stage and you're performing, it's just a performance. No one's actually judging you based on that. It's behind the scenes that they judge you, and the judges literally come up and you do your poses, and they evaluate you there. Arnie was him standing with 2 other guys, and he was able to finagle it so that the room the judges inspected them in was darker, and his pale ass was able to shine in the basically it was darkly wooded room, and the 2 black guys, and being black itself shows your muscles better in contrast with the shadows, and in because of the situation, they were a little bit more not fleshed out because of the contrast. There was more blending on them, and he won one of his competitions that way.
Wow, that's crazy.
And another competition he won that was him and another guy were posing, and the judges couldn't decide between the two of them. And he talked to the other guy, and he's like, "We leave on 3. You ready?" The guy's like, "Yeah, I agree with you, Arnie." And 1, 2, 3, and they turned, and the guy walked off stage, and Arnie did a back flex, and they considered it a quit, and he won. And they're like, "Wow, you're such a dick."
Hey man, sometimes you gotta, do what you gotta do. I don't know.
Speaking of not being sportsmanlike, did you see the Raider who punched the Saint in the face
Yeah, I saw a quick clip of that.
with
on
a
the field.
helmet on?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Well, okay. Do you guys have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Do you watch The Mandalorian?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch the most recent episode of The Mandalorian?
I did.
No.
The first one of season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets into that fight at the whatever ring that was, and the guys are literally punching the armored guy with a helmet in the head.
Oh, it's pretty funny.
Like, what the hell is that supposed to do?
Yeah, somebody didn't think that scene through, but
Well, you can still knock somebody out that way. It's all about contorting the brain, not an impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did love Timothy Oliphant in that episode. God damn, he's a good actor.
Somebody posted a picture of him in that, and I was like, it's like James Bond and Negan had a happy baby. So I'm hoping that his smile, like he's a nice guy, or else that statement is kind of stupid.
Did you guys see, or have you guys seen the movie The Crazies that came out not too long ago, maybe 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in that, and that was actually, that's actually a decent little movie, gotta say.
Hell yeah. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I haven't watched it in a few years, though. I'll have to pull that one up.
What's the one I watched? When a Stranger Calls, I think is what it was called. And that just completely disappointed me. Strangers Call, When Strangers Call at Night. The Strangers, that's what it was.
Oh.
3 people in masks. It's fucking gay.
Yeah, I was going to say, When a Stranger Calls is the one with that hot chick. What's her face? That was in one of the Jurassic Parks.
The new ones or the old ones?
The old ones. She was in the second one.
Virginia Madsen?
No, she was the little girl. They had like the beginning of the movie that had just like,
Oh, actually, I know who that is. I just can't think of it.
Yeah.
But the English girl with
Exactly.
chirpies. Damn it. Steve and I were just talking about it the other day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks cute as fuck.
Yeah, she is. She is
nowadays.
Yeah. Kamala Bell. Steven
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of it.
What was that? Oh, she was in 10,000 BC. That was the other one.
Yeah. No, this one had Liv Tyler and Liv Tyler and some famous dude, and one of the guys from It's Sunny in Philadelphia. And anyways, the masked killers were way too comfortable being around guns. Not their guns, like they weren't in control of the guns. But it's like, weird. Apparently you have no understanding. Like, it's just a movie thing. It's bullshit. It's not like gangsters are way too comfortable with guns, because gangsters are around pieces of shit who pull their guns for no reason and never fire them.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to go? Yeah. N-word? No. But they front and they flash their guns, and they're not actually going to do anything. It's just them being hard. So they've normalized themselves to seeing a gun appear. However, if I'm in a situation where shit goes sideways and my gun appears, the next thing you see is a flash, not me talking more shit. I am pulling my gun to fire it on you. It's not a physical threat that I'm using to deter your actions. I will shoot you. And these people were just walking back and forth like, nothing's going to happen here. By the way, spoiler alert, everyone died in the second one because fuck you. But we had what did we have? We talked about Trump. We talked about Nigerian Trump.
Should we talk about tomorrow night?
That's up next.
Yeah.
What are your predictions or etc.?
Whatever Nate Silver says, the opposite.
Yeah. Did you guys see DraftKings? Did you see the draft? You guys know what DraftKings is?
Yeah. It's
I was
new
looking
betting
at
site.
Predict It. Maybe I think is what the name of it was.
Well, I know, but have you heard of DraftKings though?
Yeah.
Okay, so DraftKings is the fantasy football, right? So
Yeah.
they're doing a big election pool, and they released today. Let me pull up the tweet real quick because it was it's of course anecdotal or not anecdotal, non-scientific polling, but they said DraftKings election pool alert. With over 350,000 entries, a majority of people in every state besides Colorado predict that Donald Trump will be the winner of tomorrow's election. Again, not scientific, but it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they're right. Honestly, I mean, I don't have enough information to be able to call it. I just hope that tomorrow does in fact result in every Trump voter actually going and waiting in line and casting
agreed.
the vote, because that's exactly what it's going to take.
Yep.
But I
Well-
also don't trust the system anymore because of all the changes and shit to rig it and to do it. So
Yep.
it's going to be decided in court.
Well, what we need is we need to have enough Trump voters turn out to not only get enough votes, but to counteract the cheating that is undoubtedly going on the Democrat side.
Yeah, it has to be a complete landslide with tomorrow's activities, like something that's going to be completely undeniable.
Yeah, but here's the thing though: is there such thing as an achievably undeniable victory to the left?
No.
Because they
No.
don't care. I don't know if you guys saw. It was I think it was what's his name? Ami something. He's Daily Caller. I can't remember his last name. He's a comedian, but he went out talking to people, and his first question was, "Hey, what do you think about election integrity? Is that really important? Is that the most important thing?" Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's the most important thing." Said, "Oh well, if Donald Trump wins, but there's clear signs of election fraud and meddling, do you think that would you accept the election, accept the results?" And they, "Oh no, of course not. Next question, same thing with Joe Biden. Every single one of them, "Oh yeah, I'd accept that."
Well, I'm looking at 270 to win,
Yeah,
and it's got it's pretty mildly favorable to Biden. Biden's got 290, Trump's got 190 or 163.
yeah.
But it's also got Nevada, which is a bit of a toss-up right now.
No, it's going to go blue.
All right. Well, it's got it as possibly going blue. It's got Arizona as possibly blue.
It could be if our recorder is going to pull the same shit they pulled when they elected Kristen Sinema with their emergency voting locations, which they did try to start up here on Friday. So it's questionable, but given the literally I cannot go anywhere without running into Trump supporters in a caravan, I have a hard time buying it at any level.
All right, so we'll move Trump. We'll move that over to Trump. It's.
I think Pennsylvania, they have it as leaning blue, but
yeah, they do.
I don't know. I think that one's going to go red. We'll see.
Okay, so we'll move Pennsylvania over to being red. Biden's lost his clear victory.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to Pennsylvania. If Pennsylvania goes red, Donald Trump wins. Period.
Yeah, it's got Michigan going slightly blue.
I can buy
I'm
that.
going to say Michigan's going to go red.
I don't think so.
He's said quite the rest. What about Wisconsin?
I think Wisconsin is more of a toss-up than Minnesota. I think Minnesota stays blue. Wisconsin might go red.
Wisconsin went to Trump in 2016.
Yeah, it might go red.
Okay, so we'll give it to Trump. Ohio went for Trump last time around. It's undecided.
It's 1.4% up on Trump in almost every poll, so I think that's pretty reliable. I doubt it goes blue at all.
Okay. Iowa.
Iowa goes red.
Iowa goes red. North Carolina.
It depends on if most of the state can outdo Charlottesville. Because Charlottesville will be blue. But if the rest of the state can outnumber them, then it'll go red. And I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, Georgia.
Again, same thing, but with Atlanta instead.
Last time Georgia went to Trump.
Yeah, and I think it's really going to depend on how motivated those urban voters are in Atlanta.
Okay, so we will give it to Trump, who's at 275, without Florida. Florida's 29. Give it to Trump, and Trump's got 304.
Yeah. Florida's going for Trump.
Yeah. Holy shit. The Miami rally the other day, he had a salsa band out there singing, oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump. Virginia, that's going to stay blue. Illinois will stay blue. That's without Montana turning. Colorado, New Mexico, Nevada. Maine will go 2-1 for Trump. So 3 points for Maine, 1 point for Donald.
Yeah, and I think Nebraska is going to be mostly red as well, with the exception of
District 2, yeah.
Omaha.
Yeah. So that'll go 4 points for Trump, 1 for Biden. And that has Biden at 304. Now, what? There's like two of the votes ended up saying they're extended to the 10th, but cutoff is postmark date of the election.
Yeah, I think that applies to Pennsylvania, so that'll be tomorrow. But it's not hard to forge a postage stamp or a date on, postmark. Not hard to do.
Okay, so
what if there's gonna be voter fraud? It'll take place in Pennsylvania. It's too much of the linchpin right now for it. And when you have the state's attorney general coming out and saying that it will go Biden, no doubt. I'm already got my eyebrows raised and need to pull out the microscope and put them under it, because fuck you, making a political statement like that.
Okay, if Trump wins Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and North Carolina, Florida, and Arizona, it doesn't need Pennsylvania. 294.
Yeah, he needs Pennsylvania. Because I can't say that he's going to take all of those states. Pretty sure he'll take Ohio. Pretty sure he'll take Arizona, but it's really close here for some ungodly reason.
Well, with Biden's focus on Minnesota, I think Trump will take Pennsylvania. I think Trump might take Virginia.
I doubt that.
Last time around, Trump lost Virginia by 70,000 votes, and 60,000 registered voter convicts were released in the week leading up to the election.
Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, we're getting riots on Wednesday.
No matter what happens, we're getting riots on Tuesday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's probably
We had, I don't know, today's Monday and we had riots Sunday. So I'm thinking, yeah.
I mean, I get not liking Trump on a personal level, but just for policy reasons. That's why I don't understand Never Trumpers. I don't understand them at all. Like, what is your beef, dude? He's doing everything that you say you want to do. You're just pissed that it's him doing it.
Yeah, that's because they're not real. They're not, Never Trumpers are basically just Democrats. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Adam Carolla had one on his show last night. It was.
I bet that was.
I just wanted to punch the fucker. I'm like, you idiot. Look, I get not liking him. He's a crass asshole. Yes, I'll give you that. To the day is long. He's not the most desirable candidate, but he's the one we've got.
Trump's an asshole all the live long day.
Yeah.
I'm not electing a state here. I'm electing a president.
Yeah. I'm electing somebody to get what the policies that I want accomplished actually accomplished.
I mean, look, I'm not one of these that doesn't like Trump because of the way he acts. I love him more because of the way he acts. Because I'm tired. My entire adult life, I've watched conservatives cower or quote unquote do the right thing, quote unquote be the bigger man. You know, Bush let the press and the Democrats walk all over him. I remember screaming at him in press conferences like, fight back, what are you doing? And he just never would. And I'm tired of it. And I want somebody to take it to them and stick it to them for once, and not necessarily stick it to them, but say, no, I am the line in the sand, and I will not tolerate the bullshit you're putting out. So I love it.
Yeah. At this point, you know, I want Trump to say, listen, I have disavowed and disavowed and disavowed. I'm sick of your bullshit. Quit ripping apart the country. I never said racists are good people on both sides. I explicitly said, with the exception of white nationalists and racists, there were good people on both sides. I'm talking about the black supporters who didn't want to see the statue taken down, and the white supporters who called them the N-word as they attempted to tear down the statue. Like, it amazes me that you can see someone egging a Trump supporter while they're in a car like this week, or just in front of Trump Tower when she was supporting Trump, you know, in the last election cycle. And that's not hate. But driving next to a Biden bus is hate.
Yep. Burning down entire cities is fine. But driving next to a bus is somehow over the line. Give me a break.
Well, and nobody's addressing the fact that all of the cities that are suffering these riots and this destruction are run by Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
By and large,
Well, nobody but Trump.
Yeah, he's been mentioning it like crazy.
The mainstream media, they're just like, well, he's like the article. I remember this one article. Here's a list of all the cities that Trump says are run by Democrats. Well, we found one of them on the list, or one of the ones that's rioting is run by Republicans. One out of like 45 or something like that. It's like, okay, guys, you really got Trump on that one. Boy,
well, it's the same thing as when you fact check a burger's a mile high. It turns out it's only 370 feet. 370 feet of burgers is a lot of fucking burgers.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I mean, it's just, it's like if Donald Trump Jr. if it was 10% of the allegations against Trump Jr. as we have on Biden, it would have been the international story for the last year.
Well, look at what happened with the one thing he did kind of fuck up in taking that meeting with those Russians.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
he did
they
was
were
take the
all
meeting,
over it.
was in there for about 10 minutes when he realized, okay, this is full of shit, and left.
I'm out of here, yeah.
And they made that a story for a couple of months.
Yeah, but Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, Hunter Biden milking foreign countries that also have evidence evidence on him to use against Joe Biden if he were ever elected president. That's fine. No big deal. Whores, lines of coke, underage nieces, maybe. It just goes on and on and on. Millions of dollars in slush funds and fake businesses. That's all fine, and we really shouldn't be talking about it. But, Trump Jr. taking a 10-minute meeting, boy, he ought to be hanged.
Right. It's
break.
the double standard is ridiculous, and I think most of America sees it.
Well,
And-
no,
NPR.
about 50% do not see it because they literally don't get the opportunity to see it.
Well, that's true.
Because they don't. So Tim Pool, I don't know if you guys listen to Tim Pool, but he's shown a couple of statistics that Democrats and left-wing people do not listen, read, or otherwise ingest conservative-leaning news. They never look at it. But conservatives look at both and so have a more well-balanced approach to politics. They don't ever look at it, and if you put it in front of them, they will call it Russian disinformation, as they did. So
Hell, they're still calling Fox News faux news, and Fox News' vice president was a Biden campaign staffer.
yeah, and Drudge Report, they got Drudge for whatever reason. He used to be the conservative source.
I can tell you why that is. It's because the Uniparty doesn't like Trump. They lost their control. Trump was never supposed to win. He was an impossibility that happened, and they don't know how to handle it. And all the players and the media elites, let's not fake the funk, Drudge is one of them. That's why Fox News has slid the way it's slid. Because they want to maintain their aristocracy that they believe that they're a part of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. You think that there would be... I guess Fox kind of does it, but they're sliding now. If they slide too far, they're going to start bleeding conservative viewers.
Yes and no. There's still Tucker Carlson, there's still Hannity, there's still Laura Ingraham.
I
hate
said, if they
Hannity.
continue the slide.
I can't stand Hannity.
I can't stand
I'm not
I
a fan.
agree with a lot of what he says, but man, I hate that guy.
I don't hate him, but I used to watch him religiously back in the early 2000s. I loved Hannity and Combs, and that was some great stuff. But yeah, he's very abrasive.
Well, that's what Hannity needed Combs, though. He needed to be left incredulous at times because he goes a bit far otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's disturbing.
I don't know. I think my gut feeling is that Trump is going to pull it out tomorrow.
I hope you're right. I really am. It doesn't seem like that's where the smart money is.
I've seen some different things that have given me some interesting, like one of the example I shared earlier with the DraftKings thing. It's a small thing, and I'm not banking on it by any means, but the fact that 57,000 people showed up to a rally in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's a big one. The energy is definitely with Trump.
Nobody nobody is out there enthusiastically throwing down a vote for Biden because no one gives a shit about Biden.
No.
The only votes that are being cast for Biden are anti-Trump votes.
Exactly.
So it's going to come down to how many people are truly against Trump and how many are truly for him, minus the cheating that is absolutely already happened and is happening currently.
What if something absolutely insane happens and California goes Trump?
I would.
Well, I don't see that because it's
I don't
not,
see it either. But I mean, it's
California is a different world than Florida. Like Florida's Hispanic vote is the entire South America. It's Cuba, it's Venezuela, it's Honduras, it's Guatemala. It's the entire encompassing of all of South America, which is very much more Republican in like their God
values.
and the values, as opposed to California, which is mostly Mexicans.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Latinos for Trump is a big deal here, and we're right next door.
That's true. I mean,
I think it would take Jesus Christ himself coming down from heaven to make California turn red.
Well, I think that there's a lot of red in California that doesn't get much play. But I'm also not naive enough to think that the Democratic Party hasn't wrapped up every single state organization in California and will push it whichever way it wants to, regardless of what the turnout says.
Well, there's the unspoken of media bump that the Democrats get, which is estimated between 10 and 15% for the Democrat nominee.
Yep.
Just in play from different sources. And usually that's super effective. But this time around, it's not going to be as effective because the literal belief in Trump supporters that there are secret Trump supporters. So every real Trump supporter that is like loves Trump, not I'm going to vote for Trump, but loves the guy because that's a thing now that people love politicians. Thanks, Obama.
But Trump is unlike any he's not a politician.
But he's not the first. He's not the first one that has people loving him. Obama was the original. I love this guy.
Well,
minus
the thing is,
Kennedy.
Kennedy first. I have never loved a politician because I think they're all scumbags. I legitimately love Trump.
Well, why don't you fucking marry him? He's about due for another one.
Because, well, A, I'm not gay, and 2, he's married. But, I'm
not gay either, but $20 is $20.
Yeah. But, with Trump, it's something we really have not seen in someone who's run for office. And yes, he's a politician now, but he doesn't come from that establishment of just degenerate assholes, political assholes. I mean, you got a guy like Trump, right? He made his money before he got to office. Then you got a guy like Joe Biden who entered office as a normal person, and now he's worth tens of millions of dollars because he was in office. His public service has made him rich, and I find that detestable.
Yeah, but you don't hear about the all right. You hear about Trump's 4 deferments, but you don't hear about Biden's 4 deferments. Biden's just as old as Trump.
Yeah.
He got the same deferments. His were for asthma, which he never had. But that's what it is. But I think there's a lot of Trump supporters, not the majority maybe, but a large number of them who believe in the silent Trump voter. which is obvious. Like it's
Yeah.
literally a thing. You
Yes.
saw it in the 2016 election.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're now believing more than ever that there is a media bias. They're not telling you the whole story. I'm going to vote for Trump even if he loses because fuck you, I'm voting for Trump.
Exactly.
So there's the 10 point.
The difference between 2016 and 2020 is that there was visceral hatred and loathing of Hillary Clinton that Joe Biden does not suffer from.
Okay, but people, unlike Hillary Clinton, you could look at and go, she is not senile. She's sharp, she's smart, she's devious, and if she was given the job, she could literally do the job, even though she would do a lot of things that would fuck everyone over. You see what I'm saying? Joe Biden, you look at Joe Biden, you go, that is not a man who can run a 7-Eleven, let alone the country. So
I think there's equal fear of both Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, and just different reasons.
Yeah, I think. Well, and the thing is too, I think a lot of people understand that a vote for Joe Biden is only a vote for a presidency that lasts 18 months, 22 years maybe, and then you get Kamala Harris.
My buddy and I were talking about how she's a disaster, but she was also the anointed one that they were not expecting Tulsi Gabbard to destroy as she did.
Yeah.
I mean, Tulsi nuked her from orbit in the primaries, and that was not supposed to happen.
Well, and the thing is, like, you look at Tulsi, I look at Tulsi and I go, if it weren't for the abortion and a couple other issues, I could maybe vote for her.
Yeah, she's the only Democrat that I can think of that I could see myself voting for.
She's a Democrat.
She's the only Democrat.
Yes, true. I was just going to say, she's a Democrat from like 1965, outside of a few issues. She's a Democrat 25, 30, 40 years ago, because Democrats don't exist anymore. They're all just hardcore leftists now. Ocasio, whatever her name is, Cortez is right. They are
Alexandria Ocasio-Keyboard.
Jugsy boobs
Joe
a lot.
Biden are not the same party.
Tits McGee.
Gosh, she is so
Teeth
dumb.
McGillicuddy.
She is so.
Yeah, she
dumb.
said the other day that standing in line is voter oppression.
Yeah, what the? Okay, but what isn't voter suppression to her? What isn't?
No, voter oppression.
She said oppression.
She's an idiot.
Yes, she is.
I thought it was suppression.
But she is an idiot that her district reelected.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's a Democrat. There's no way that she's not going to get. Well, I mean, she won the primary, yes, but you're talking to very few votes. I mean, no one.
She won like 3 other districts too.
Oh, really? Well, that's
like people are voting from her from like neighboring districts.
But she's become a celebrity. She's more of a celebrity than anything else. I mean, for Christ's sake, she Twitch streams video games.
No, you're thinking Ilhan Omar.
No, I am not. I saw a video of her streaming on Twitch. Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah. As above, so below. One of us, something like that.
Could have been one of us, or could it have been Among Us?
It's like, bitch, you are
Among Us.
You are not a YouTube star. You are a politician who's supposed to be doing something. You're supposed to know more than this. Like, what are you doing?
She's catering to the youth.
Yeah, okay,
that's actually hilarious when she finds out she's wrong about something, like during the investigation.
Let's flip this though. Would you be upset if Dan Crenshaw was streaming some Among Us or COD? Let's get real. He's going to play COD.
I mean,
Dan Crenshaw CODing is different.
I mean, I'd be like, what are you doing? You got better things to do. But then again, I know the dude is smart and actually belongs in Congress.
No, like Dan
So, I don't
Crenshaw
know.
playing COD is completely different than Dan Crenshaw playing Little Big Planet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not. I don't know.
Fortnite.
Maybe I'm just overreacting on this.
Mm.
I just can't stand her because I guess the point I should be making is she is more qualified to be a YouTube celebrity than a politician. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make.
There, you won't get any argument from me there. That's
So I guess I
absolutely true.
don't really have a problem with her playing the game on Twitch. I just don't think she should be a politician. Now, Dan Crenshaw is obviously qualified to be a congressman. So if he plays it on Twitch, whatever, doesn't matter to me. It doesn't bother me. It bothers me because she is not qualified to be a congressperson.
I would still
Well,
give Dan
she's
Crenshaw
qualified according to what the actual qualifications are, which aren't much. It's the same
Well,
argument I have for people that say Trump isn't qualified to be president. Yeah, he is. He's of age. He was born here. He's been here for 14 years. Guess what? He's qualified.
Okay, fair enough, but she shouldn't be one.
No, I agree. She doesn't have the brain power to do a good job. But then again, the Democrats literally elected a guy who thought Guam was going to capsize.
Yeah,
Oh, poor Hank Johnson.
man, that I don't know, man. I don't know how do you get to that point in your life? Like you're a 55-year-old, 60-year-old man, and you don't know that islands don't float. Like, how do you get there? How in your life?
And how do your handlers not know that you're going to ask something that blitheringly stupid? Like some
Well, I just-
staffer has got to be like, I can't believe that. What? He didn't mention that at all. What the hell? Where did that come from? Get his staffers on record for that kind of shit. Because, oh my God.
Watch this. I'm about to own this this 4-star general. Hold on. Here we go. What if the planet tipped over from your weapons of destruction? It's not how planets work, you fucking moron. Also, Sheila Jackson Lee's a complete idiot, and
Yes, she is.
Maxine Waters is a dumb.
Do you think that there's any chance Maxine Waters gets unseated?
There's a chance.
What's
not
her
likely.
district?
She's South Central LA, Compton.
I think Sheila Jackson Lee has a better chance of losing it than she does.
Because the guy, there's
Man.
the Republican guy who's running for Maxine's seat.
He's sharp, man. He's
sharp, but he's also from the hood.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think the Democrat machine is too large to overcome in that district, but could be wrong.
Well, I mean, it's a big machine, so sometimes things get neglected. And if they weren't so lazy, they'd be Republicans. So you're not really whispering.
He doesn't have a whisper.
So I mean, give or take, there's a lot of room for chicanery and shenanigans and the infamous malarkey.
I mean,
I think what we're not expecting, which I think very well could happen, even if Trump loses, he still might this time win the popular vote. I think there's going to be a huge push in New York and California in particular that people who normally don't vote because of the bullshit, which is there's no way they're going to win, will still come out and vote this time.
Well,
because the energy is there.
True. Let me tell you something. This is what I would like to see happen.
Literally why I had you on, bro. Tell me something.
Okay, here you go. This is what I want to see in the scenario that Trump loses on Inauguration Day. I want to see him go to the podium and say, today I'm proud to announce my candidacy for 2024. Trump 2024. fucking walk away. Because the media hates Trump so much that story would dominate the day.
They would immediately impeach him for violation of the Constitution.
How?
What?
Because there
What's
is
the violation?
There is an amendment that does not allow people to run for more than 2 terms.
No.
No, there's
he
not.
cannot serve more than 2 terms. He can run for as many goddamn terms as he wants.
This is Biden's third bite at the apple.
Yeah.
No,
This
I
guy,
understand that, but so you're saying if he loses?
If he loses,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then yeah,
on
he could.
Inauguration Day, he comes out and says, I'm announcing my candidacy for 2024. Trump 2024, and fucking walk away. The media would go nuclear. They would go absolutely nuclear. It would dominate the day. And that's what I want to see if he loses. Because think about it. After 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, people are going to be begging him to come back.
God, that would be hilarious.
It would be the biggest comedy moment in politics ever. It would be such a fuck you to Joe Biden, who eminently deserves it after the shit he's pulled this year.
The only problem I have with that is that it feeds the beast that's the problem. That gives the press exactly what they want. It gives them a Biden victory, and it lets them continue the Trump news cycle.
Yeah, I still want to see it. Because he needs, I don't know. Hopefully that's not going to happen. But
they're still going to continue the Trump news cycle.
Yeah, because the thing is, Obama set the precedent by not shutting the fuck up after he was elected. He opened the door for the next presidents to keep being involved.
I want to see Trump reelected just so he can fire the FBI head.
Me too. And well, he could still fire him.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing at the end of the administration.
You think he could make a big thing out of firing Dr. Fauci?
Well, the media, if he wins and he does fire Dr. Fauci, the media will go nuts. But who cares? I mean, who cares?
Either way, he's sending in the National Guard on the 4th.
On the what?
On the 4th. Any rioting in Wisconsin and Minnesota and in Portland, anything like that, it's over. Like the election's over. He's going to be sending in the National Guard. I gave you your time. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The rioting is completely out of control. I mean, the Democrat governors and mayors and all those idiots, they have just been letting those people run roughshod. And it wasn't until it as Don Lemon said, started to show in the polls that they even gave a single damn about the people it was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what a joke.
It's the governor's in charge of the National Guard for the state.
Correct.
But the president has emergency powers.
Correct.
If I was the president, I could overrule a governor and call it emergency powers for his state.
Yep.
Because I'm the fucking president. Boom!
But then you run into the problem, too, is, you try to send in the National Guard into Portland or Seattle, and you have a hostile state government that is going to oppose it, try to put in blocks, etc. I don't know. What do? Do you force it in there? I guess you do. Because at this point, it's ridiculous because they obviously do not give a shit about anyone that gets hurt. All that matters is harming Trump. That's all that's mattered.
Yeah. So if they continue with their bullshit, shut them down completely. Trump is either victorious and going for his second and lame duck session, or he's out of there in January, and as long as it's legal,
yep,
it's the right move to make. Shut them down. Stop allowing. He's already not paying for the destruction that's been caused. You know, he's not sending out checks to the overtime in Seattle or Portland or Wisconsin or any of that.
Yeah.
So that's why the second stimulus package has been held up. Nancy Pelosi has put in money funding for these areas, plus bullshit like for the arts and for sciences, and basically areas that when they get $10 million, they send $5 million back to the Democrat Party.
Yeah, it's just such a
fuck you and the Kennedy Center.
Yep.
There should be a law against receiving public funding and contributing to public
well, it's
campaigns.
It's Planned Parenthood all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Planned Parenthood sends millions upon millions of dollars to Democrats every year. That should not be allowed.
Well, what was the 30 deaths?
Funds.
There's been like 30 deaths from the riots, not to mention like the 35 wounded cops and David Dorn and poor Joe Juberg, the pedophile.
Well, let's not forget Kyle Rittenhouse.
Well, he's not dead.
Him. Well, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's clearly self-defense.
Speaking of $2 million bail.
$2 million bail. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. He's got 1.4. They're working on the other 600,000.
Good. He shouldn't be in prison.
Mm-hmm.
What a joke. What an absolute joke this summer has been.
No, Maynard. You're talking about the riots to date. No, I'm talking about there were 30 deaths in October.
30 in October?
30 in October alone. There were
I haven't seen that.
Pennsylvania had like 15 itself. Oh man, there was one. It was so funny. This car parked in front of the some store. It was next to like the Five Below. I don't remember what it was, but he was loading his car full of electronics, and somebody got in the car and drove off. Yeah. They stole his car, and I'm like, you guys are so beautiful.
The one I saw is this woman. She went out looting and looted all night long, stuffed her car. She leaves it outside the apartment, comes out the next day, windows are smashed in, all the shit's taken, and she's like, why would they do this? I got to pay for these windows now. It's like, yeah, you dumb bitch. What do you think? Absolutely zero self-awareness.
And it kills me these people steal the demo. I saw it during 2016, like the BLM riots and stuff. They were walking out with TVs over their heads, in the rain, and I'm like, dude, that's a demo TV.
Yeah,
like get one in the box. It'll have a controller with it. And the same thing, like someone was carting out a washer with a hand cart, which makes me think they brought a hand cart to their looting. And it's like, that thing's not going to have the connections. No. If you're lucky, they're inside it. Otherwise, they're in a box somewhere. Why is that not a fucking washer or dryer in a goddamn box? I guess it's going up on eBay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Just, you got a few different types of people that go out. There's the opportunists, and then there's the anarchists, who want to see, basically just want to watch everything burn and the glorious revolution appear. But then you got the opportunists who are just like, man, I just want free shit.
I just want to see Trump reelected.
So do I.
Just
I
for
want a
the,
repeat of 2016.
I swear to God, if
'Cause I'm-
Trump gets reelected, I'll put out a flood warning
No
or
kidding.
flash flood
And the
because of
thing
liberal
is,
tears.
the 2016 was a major fuck you to the establishment.
And the
If-
establishment hasn't gone anywhere.
No, and if Trump gets reelected, it's going to make 2016's FU look like nothing happened.
If Trump gets reelected, we need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission
No kidding.
for all the bullshit that's been going on. Buy Chris Cuomo and your maskless haircuts and your bullshit on
Yeah.
COVID spreading. Buy Don Lemon and your gay crotch fingers. Buy Anderson Cooper and fucking Anderson Cooper.
The thing about it is at this point, if Trump is reelected, I want retribution against these people for what they've done to the country over the past 4 years. They need to be held accountable.
I take it back. Don Lemon could stay. Don Lemon is so fucking stupid. Do you remember 2016 after the election, they were rioting and CNN pulls this guy up and he's in a mask and he's like, fucking love Hillary. We're going to tear this down. Burning anarchy, flaming ruins. We're going to destroy this city. And Dan Lemon's like, hey, I know that guy. He was my CNN producer when I went to travel with something to something. And I'm like, you're fucking retard.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know what? It's this guy's producer, Don Lemon, you stupid shit.
Yeah, they were literally creating fake news, and Lemon blew their cover.
Yeah, like, oh my God,
He's
you're such a fucking
dumb.
moron, man.
He's
Holy
so
shit.
dumb. I don't know if this is a deep cut. You guys remember the Malaysian airliner, which basically kept CNN's lights on for about a year?
Oh, the idea of a black hole.
So is it possible that a black hole could have swallowed this airplane? It's like,
yeah, and the rest of the world, dumbass.
It's like, you are so fucking stupid, dude. A black hole. That's what you're going with. You got nothing else. You've been dragging out this Malaysian airliner thing for a very long time. Nothing news coming up, and you're going to go with black hole. Congratulations. The worst journalist of the year, Don Lemon, worst journalist of the year.
Well, even if it was a black hole the size of the head of a pin would have sucked in the planet.
What a moron.
Like, black holes are so powerful, they suck in time. If I was standing next to you, the black hole would be so powerful, I couldn't smell your stinky fingers, Don Lemon, because the only thing that sucks more than you is a goddamn black hole.
Yep.
CNN, the only thing that sucks more than a black hole.
Oh, man. See, what's pissing me off, and I don't know really how to solve this problem, because you have the Constitution, right? Constitution, freedom of the press. So, but how do we solve the problem that CNN is basically a super PAC for the Democrat Party? So, I mean, it's clearly the billions of dollars, well, hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions of dollars worth of free advertising and holding the water and activism for the Democrat Party. How do you solve that?
Well, yeah, they estimated that CNN gave Trump $512 million of free advertising in 2016.
Yep. So
you figure over the course of 4 years, with all of the harassment and attention and and bad press is still good press or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, it's that's $1 billion industry right there. Just staying rent free in CNN's mind.
Yep.
Or MSNBC, where they call him trash man or something like that.
Well, the only way to solve it is to let it die its natural death. Joe Biden gets elected, they have nothing to cover. They lose ratings, hand over fist, hand over fist, hand over fist. They have to pay the airports to even put them on. That's going to have to stop, because they're not going to be able to afford the output because they're not making the money in returns. So they're, it's going to have to be a slow, starving death of CNN in order to get rid of CNN. It's the only thing that works. But they're in a position where their government buddies, if they're in charge, will give them a bailout. They'll become the new NPR.
Yeah. NPR should be completely defunded.
NPR can run on its donations, and it doesn't need the government.
No, it doesn't
grift.
need public money.
It doesn't need it anymore. It's become something entirely different than what it was envisioned to be at this point.
And NPR is one of those corporations or one of those news agencies that said what they're saying about Hunter Biden's laptop is not newsworthy.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, National Public Radio it's a government organization. Is that correct?
It is given,
No.
it is publicly funded for a certain percentage of their revenues. The thing is that they're supposed to be a nonprofit, but they are not. They are a for-profit. Their donations and foundations well exceed their operating budget, and they're just sitting on that bankroll because they're paying for what they do with the government money.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're donating some of it back too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a money laundering operation. That's why it takes donations from foundations. The foundations take donations from people that want to, give money without being reported. It's a huge money laundering operation.
And let's not forget, like, Harvard has a $25 billion with a B endowment.
Yeah.
Yale's got a $20 billion endowment.
Jeez, that's so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't the left ever scream that the universities aren't paying their fair share?
Because of the universities.
We all
I'm
know.
going to head out for the night. Y'all take it easy, all right?
Take care, Raggle.
All right, see you later, man. Yeah, the thing is, like, and I know the answer to this one as well, but the left always screams about, student loans. Student loans are the problem. Student loans are the problem. Look at these poor people suffering under the burden of their student loans. Why aren't we screaming tuition rates? Why are people look at these people suffering under these huge tuition rates, these unreasonable, out of control tuition rates to these universities? Well, the answer is obvious. The universities are they're a tool of the left. They're one of the biggest. They're the largest advantages that the left has in American politics, American culture.
Yeah. Do you know who the highest paid state employee in the state of Arizona is?
Who's that?
The football coach for ASU.
Yep, because that brings in a lot of money for them.
Right, but we're paying him with public money.
Correct, we are.
What's the return on the investment? He should be able to float his own salary based on the football team, right? Because of the money he's bringing into the school. Why does he need to be a state employee?
Because anyone that works for the university has to be classified as a public employee. But I get what you're saying, but the short answer is, I guess he does get paid from the football, because the stuff that comes in from the football merchandise and the football program tickets, television deals, etc., video games, it all far outweighs his salary. That's the short answer.
His salary is public record because it's paid for by public funds. That's why I know he's the highest paid state employee, because of disclosure.
I get where you're coming from.
He's paid from tax money.
Yes, but the money that he brings into the university far outweighs. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying. It's dumb. But yeah, universities are pretty much a scam. I mean, you got kids that go into these colleges and they sign up for these absolutely worthless degrees. I mean, look, if you want to do a worthless degree, go to, what is it? A community college, get your 2 years done, then go to a public university that you are a resident of the state, get those 2 years knocked out. You're going to have a worthless degree that you can get a job that you can pay back the loans that you took out. But if you're going to go to Yale or Stanford or some other incredibly expensive college or university and get a worthless degree, you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life.
Stanford is a state school.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's true. It is.
You know, what's really interesting is there's actually written into the Arizona Constitution about public universities is that they are supposed to be as close to free for residents as possible. And that's the literal language of it. As close to free of cost as possible. And yet ASU and U of A cost tons of money to attend.
Yep. Ridiculous.
And we're paying the highest, again, the highest paid state employee is the coach of the ASU football team. These are two incongruous facts of my state, of how things are run, and they are so incompatible and nobody gives a shit. Because everybody's getting, everybody that's involved in it's getting the grift.
Yep. Indeed. Well, guys, let's. Here's to hoping that maybe not tomorrow night, probably not tomorrow night, but within the coming week or weeks, that we see a Trump victory, and that all these assholes, that all the bullshit they pulled over the last 4 years, that they get the absolute. Trump brings the absolute hammer of God down upon them and destroys them. What is...
he won't.
I mean, big tech. I mean, what has he got to lose? Why are you saying he won't? What does he have to lose if he wins the election?
He is a creature who thrives on the adulation of the populace.
Yes.
Even if it's negative. Keep that in mind, even if it's negative. So he's going to want to make sure that he has a decent legacy. If he goes balls out, if he wins and goes balls out, he won't have it.
No, but you underestimate the man. His legacy, if he comes down hard on big tech and wipes them up, cleans them up so that they are not just propaganda arms for the Democrat Party, that's a freaking hell of a legacy.
No, I agree. I don't know that he does it because he is a creature of the media. As much as he touts them as being an enemy of the people, and he's not wrong in that, he is still a creature of that. He needs it. He needs that machine. It's how he thrives. So unless he loses and decides to go ballistic in the next 2 months, which would be amazing, if he wins, expect more of exactly what we've had for the last 4 years.
No, I disagree. I think we're going to see gloves off Trump. That's what I'm thinking. I can't guarantee it, of course, but that's my gut feeling. Because you can't have a situation where you have. I mean, look what they've done to him in this election cycle. And Twitter straight up banned the New York Post for their story on Joe Biden, and that was completely unprecedented. They completely shut down a press outlet because of reasons. Because the reasons were, they made up some bullshit. And
I could see Trump going after
here's the problem with that. The New York Post still has its own distribution methods. It doesn't necessarily require Twitter or Facebook.
He's already started with the Section 238 stuff. He's already started that ball rolling.
Yes, and he should have started it rolling 4 years ago, but didn't.
Yes, he should have. But he's already started it rolling, and I don't see a situation where he wins. He has the mandate from the people. He knows his base wants. He knows his base, the people that support him, who have supported him from from day one, all through these 4 years, he knows they want fairness. They want to be treated equally by big tech and the media, which we never have been, probably never will be.
We never will be. But okay, so
get a little closer.
The counter argument to that is that once he's won his second term, he's no longer eligible for anything more. What does he owe to anybody?
He owes it to himself. That's
no. But Trump is a guy who keeps his word. He keeps his promises. Look how many promises he's made good on in the last 4 years.
Yeah, but aside from all of that, when he gets out of office, because that's his next step after he either wins or loses, he's going to go back to private life where he made half of his presidential run was on Twitter. He's got to protect himself on Twitter.
Twitter, if he loses, Twitter will immediately ban him.
Exactly. So he's got to make those reforms so he still has his outreach to Twitter.
Can he get that done?
And any other platform that he wants to.
Can he get that done if he loses the election? Can he get that done in 2 months?
Absolutely.
How?
Because he's got nothing to lose.
He needs Congress. He needs the Senate to back him on it, and they won't.
No. It's all down to the FCC, I believe. It's FCC regulations. They're reviewing the regulations. They're going to make clarifications. The law was written, but the FCC set the regulations. He's having the FCC review the regulations, and if they come down and say, okay, this is the way it's going to be. If you're going to show favorites, you lose your 238, and you can be sued by every goddamn person on the planet.
Yeah, it's all under 230.
Or not, 230, not 238.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to see retribution. I want to see these people held accountable. If Google, Facebook, YouTube, if they want to play the game where they want to play this game where they get the protections of Section 230, but they get to play favorites every single time and have absolutely no standards whatsoever. Even their own standards that they make, they don't abide by. If they want to play this, no, you don't get these 230 protections. You're either a neutral entity, or you get you're either a neutral entity or you get sued the shit out by everyone. That's the way I look at it.
I agree with you. I just being pragmatic, I don't see it as getting done.
I mean, if Trump wins, I do.
Mm-hmm. Like he's been talking now for a month that he's going to fire the head of the FBI for what's been happening with the Hunter Biden bullshit.
Yep.
So between that and he'll make a cabinet.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
He only needs the Senate to approve a new position for the head of the FCC.
Yep.
So and if they lose and they're out of there as well. From power, McConnell will push it through.
Assuming they retain power.
Well, they will retain power for the next 3 months anyway.
Right, but how willing are they going to be to play ball?
Why wouldn't they? I mean,
because they're Republicans, man. When have they ever?
They've been playing ball on a lot of stuff with Mitch McConnell in the head there.
I mean, yeah, you're going to lose Romney, probably.
Yeah, who cares about that?
Yeah, you're immediately going to lose Romney and Collins. They're going to vote with the Democrats no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
All he needs is 50.
Yeah,
tiebreaker in Pence. So I mean, it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I don't know. The Republicans had a chance in the first 2 years of Trump to get shit done, and they chose not to.
But here's the thing. They're on board now. You see what I'm saying? They were all never Trumping bullshitters, right?
Yeah. The
first couple years. It was, Trump is an outsider. He's this brash guy that we hate, blah, 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 blah. What a jerk. I can't believe he won, blah, 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 blah. It was all that crap.
Yeah, over the course of Trump's first term in office, we replaced both Tennessee senators.
Yep. So yeah,
They
anyway.
knew damn well they weren't going to get reelected. So they never trumped it until the very end. Lamar Alexander and fucknuts McGillicuddy.
Yeah, and again, they were, nobody knew who Trump was. He was just a reality TV star, right? That talked a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Republicans know who Trump is, and they're with him. They're on his side, except for Romney, of course, and McConnell, or not McConnell. What's her name?
Collins.
But anyway, yeah, Collins. They're on board now.
But Collins doesn't matter because she's a Republican in a Democrat district.
I think it's also interesting too, is like the Democrats with their temper tantrums and all the bullshit they pulled, making the standard for impeachment being, nothing. They've really set themselves up for a pretty rough fall.
Well, they literally impeached Trump for what Joe Biden did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That blows my mind. And nobody seems to give a shit.
It doesn't mind. It's right out of the Alinsky playbook. Whatever you're doing, accuse your opponents of.
Yeah, just today, Biden posted Trump is the most corrupt president in American history.
Yeah.
Trump is the most racist president in American history. Probably Trump's son smokes crack and gets pictures taken of it and put on the media. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, everybody's like,
It's like, Biden, you literally said poor people can be just as intelligent as white people. Poor kids can be just as intelligent as white kids.
He also, Joe, you also literally said that Barack Obama is the first bright and articulate black man to ever run for president. So,
well, yeah, the only other one was Jesse Jackson, and I agree.
Well, I mean, the first one to ever be considered president, the first black and articulate black man. It's just ridiculous.
Who's half white.
Mm-hmm. And the other half's black, not African American.
That's true. All right, guys, I have got to run. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll be chatting with you guys tomorrow night, I'm sure.
Sounds good.
All right.
Take care, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you bet.
Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Oh, that fucker's gone.
It's nice to hear him again.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Several. We got anything else, or we're gonna get out of here?
I don't know. What else you want to go over? Anything?
I got that fucking song stuck in my head from the the Miami. Oh yeah. I got vote for Donald Trump. Oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, the mariachi band. Yeah, that
salsa band. You fucking racist.
Whatever. That actually got a lot of play out here like a month ago. Maybe even more than a month ago.
They wrote a fucking song for this. But yes, oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump. I'm like, oh my God, that is such a fucking accent. Dude, that was so amazing. It was the streets of California. It was like, I'd say 4 more, you say years. Oh my God, 4 years. Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to believe, and I really hope that it is a record turnout tomorrow, and more than half of that goes to Donald Trump. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think because how big it is, the shenanigans have to be way more focused. And I wouldn't be surprised if the focus was on the wrong spot. Like, we're talking about the same group of people who put forth Hillary.
Right. Well,
the same ones backing Biden.
Yeah.
And they thought the best idea for Biden was Kamala Harris. They're running defund the police, and they put in America's top cop.
Yeah, well, again, she was the anointed one that wasn't supposed to get nuked by Tulsi Gabbard. She was going to be the nominee. And they were going to run on, it's time for a woman. We tried this last time. It's definitely time for a woman, and why not a woman of color? And it didn't happen because Tulsi nuked them from orbit.
I don't want Ivanka Trump to win in 2024, but I want her to run in 2024. Just so they can be such gigantic fucking hypocrites with their time for a woman in 2020 bullshit.
I'm telling you, all the Republicans need to do is run Condoleezza Rice and we win.
Condoleezza Rice sucks.
Yeah, she ain't great, but she's not bad. I mean, the other one is who is Nikki Haley? We could do that.
Nikki Haley's just a little bit better. She's not even much better. How about some Kristen Noem?
Does she have presidential aspirations?
She's a fucking governor.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, as far as I can tell from this far away, she's a decent governor, but that doesn't mean that she's not going to get... She couldn't take the heat of a national run.
I'm voting Amy Coney Barrett 2024.
She might be a little bogged down.
How dare you? Just because she has 7 kids, that's sexist.
Yeah, nothing to do with the fact that she's on the highest court in the land. Which is a better spot for her, quite honestly. She does have a cute little keister, though. Which is amazing for having 7 kids.
5.
You're right, still.
Those other 2 is what got her in that kind of shape, chasing after him. All right, let's do this. We'll get out of here and go into the after hours.
Okay.
Which should be pretty poppin' tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow should be an interesting evening. I've got to play Daddy's Taxi and run the kids around, but...
You got Discord on your phone?
Are we doing it on Discord? Where are we going?
Well, they said that Discord's going to be popping. So
We're just going to hit the bat B?
Yeah. I mean, Twitter and that, sure. We'll do our little private Twitter thing and then shoot the shit on Discord.
Okay. Are we doing it on Discord? Where are we going? Mm-hmm. So let me wrap this up. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.